Hey guys, okay, so I am back with a foundation for you. This is the Holi Blur Lasting Cushion. Now I did try to film this a minute ago, it did not work out, but we're not going to talk about that, are we? Are we? No, we're not. We're going to go ahead and try this anyway. So again, it's a cushion foundation. Most cushion foundations are very similar. They all have the little pad provided, and then they usually have a little seal. But since I already took mine off a second ago, you're not going to get that satisfying reveal. Anyway, this is I can't remember how much it was or anything. I'll try to put all the specs in the description, but it is number 03 SPF 50. Oh, okay, wow, that's a pretty good SPF. Anyway, it's the number 03 Sand Blur. So, okay. This is from Holika. I have not tried anything from them at all, so I don't know what they're about or anything, and there is 0.45 ounces in this little compact here. Okay, so it does have a little pad, but I also have one of these guys. This is the mushroom-shaped sponge, but my daughter's home. You can probably hear her coughing in the background. But it's the same sort of material. It's just easier to handle because it has a handle, so it's a little bit easier than this, in my opinion, than this little pad. I don't know, there's something about the pad that's just not as easy for me as this thing. First world problems, I know, but that's that. Okay, so I am gonna use this at first so that we can just kind of see. And, oh, okay, you get a decent amount, so hopefully this won't be too dark. Oh, yeah, it's a bit too dark. It smells kind of florally, lotiony. Yeah, this shade is just a tad too dark. I can probably get away with it, but it is just a tad too dark. I'll give you guys a swatch of my favorite foundation, the Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation that they discontinued. I'll give you guys a swatch of them side by side so we can kind of get an idea. I'm just gonna put a teeny tiny bit more right up here. So you can kind of tell the kind of coverage that we're getting from eye to eye. And honestly, this looks almost exactly the same to the last cushion foundation that I tried. The other one seemed a bit more light reflective, but I will say that the second time I wore that one, where's it at? Which one was it? I don't know where I put that thing. I don't know where it is. I can't believe it's like, it should be right here on my vanity somewhere, but it is not. Maybe I put it. Here it is. It is the double longwear cover cushion from Para. This one. I will say that this one seemed a bit makeup-y the second time I used it. So I'm gonna give you guys a swatch of it, and then we'll do the Holika and then the Wet n Wild. You can barely see it. Let me see if I can get a little bit more. The Para one feels a bit more gel-like and like stickier and thicker. Like and it seems like there's a lot more pigment even. So, okay, let's go ahead and do the Holi one. Yeah. Well, I'll say this, they both do feel gel-like actually. Here's the Holi one, see it's just a tad darker than this one. Less pigment for the Holi one, so a bit more natural looking. But that might actually end up being a good thing because, as I said, the Para one seemed a tiny bit makeup-y on the second time I tried to use it. So you have to be careful. It's just more pigment. I mean, you can just tell there's just more pigment in this one. So, all right, let me see if I can find my Wet n Wild. And here it is right on top. This is the Wet n Wild. We miss her so much. Just about everybody that I have heard talk about this foundation loved it. There is just barely any left in here. And there it is. It is the lightest, but it looks so very natural on the skin, less pigment. So these two are looking similar as far as pigment. This one is my perfect shade match. This one I can get away with. This one I can probably get away with, especially in the summertime. But yeah, these two feel very similar though. All right, so let me get a close-up look. Give you guys a bit of a close-up. The sun is like right shining through my window right now, so if there's reflections and stuff, that's why. Okay, it looks really good. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm just gonna take a sponge and go over it. I've got almost like a dry area right here, and I have a little dip right underneath my lip right there, and sometimes, or recently anyway, the foundation has been trying to kind of collect right there and look a little bit makeup-y. Oh, my pores are looking real good. Like you can still kind of see them, but it's not looking real crusty right in that crease of my nose right here. You can still see the pores, but the product isn't like collecting in my pores like and just being like stored up in there. And I don't have, all I have on today is a moisturizer, several moisturizers in fact. So yeah, I think it's looking really nice, very almost like undetectable on my skin, like I always say I like. And it does have coverage, so this is looking like very natural coverage. The Peri Para one had much more coverage. I would say maybe twice as much coverage, but you just got to be careful to thin it out because the more coverage it has, or at least for that one, it just, the more makeup-y it looked. First application, the first impression that I did, it looked perfectly beautiful. The second time I was like, well, that's kind of makeup-y. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and use this and we'll just get to do the other side. And this is also picking up less product, like initially. The only thing that might be difficult for this is getting in all your little fine creasy areas. So maybe it would be good to apply it with the pad and then to really blend it out with a bigger sponge, or even like a regular sponge might work well also. I'm gonna go ahead and try a brush. I'm gonna use this one. This is the Angle Blender from Chic Pro. This side here that I'm working on right now, well, they both look good actually. I mean, this, you can just tell that there's less product on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and use a concealer brush, and this is also from Chic Pro. It's the highlighter brush, but I use it for concealer all the time. I'm just gonna take a little bit and see what happens if we build it up. Now I am struggling again, ladies, with this patch of eczema right here. It just wants to get crusty. I don't know what to do about it. Just one of those things. I do feel like it's smoothing and blurring, but the shade is just that much off from my skin tone that it's gonna still look like I'm wearing makeup. I mean, people are gonna know I'm wearing makeup, but it's just not the perfect shade, and that does tend to bother me a bit. So, okay, first impression, I think this one's really nice. I don't think these two are completely comparable because this has much less coverage than this one, but I will say that I think these two are pretty comparable at this point. And it's making me want to get a lighter shade of this just to see if it might be an exact dupe. So I may do that in the future. We'll see, because this is my perfect shade. It is the Light Ivory 106A Light Ivory Light Neutral for the Wet n Wild one, which obviously they don't sell it anymore, which is such a bummer. Now I still got some in there. You can see like there is still some in there, so I could still use it, but it's completely expired. I've had it, oh my goodness, probably for like 2 years I've had this. Anyway, so I just can't get rid of it because it was too good and I still was using it. So anyway, all that to say, it's looking pretty decent. As a first impression, it looks really, really pretty on my skin, and I'm really liking, and again, I'll get a close-up look of that nose area. Yep, it's blurring my pores out, especially right here, real pretty. This side, not as much, but still good. It is very tacky, very, very, very tacky. So, I mean, I powder everything, so this one will get powdered, but just keep that in mind. It is sticky. I don't feel like the pigment is transferring, but the sticky base that it's in is on my fingers a little bit, but not too bad. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe, ding my bell, and I'll see you in the next one.